Okay. Good afternoon, students. I hope everyone is doing well. So, I'll be teaching you social science, okay? So, today we will start with geography. So, this chapter is basically about the natural resources. You know what natural resources is? It is the resources that we get from the nature, and we usually use it in our daily life, okay? So, okay, here you can see that there is like two stories are given, okay? So, that they are from different parts of the world, like Tanzania, like from one from small village in Tanzania, Africa, and other is from New Zealand. So I want all of you to study this and identify the differences in the land use and their livelihood, okay? So this will be your homework. So let us start with this land, okay? So you know what land is. um, Okay, it is the solid surface of the earth where we stay, like, where we build our home, construct roads, cultivate, and etc. And it is also one of the most important natural resources. Okay, um, here it is given that only 30% of land area is covered by the 90% of population. Okay, let me tell you one very interesting thing, that our whole earth is of land and water, okay? So 71% of earth is covered with water, and only 29% of land. It is like 100% of land, out of which only 30% of land is used by human, like the world population. So so the remaining 70% is like very sparsely populated, like very less people or no people at all, okay? Okay. Look, uh, when we speak that the like very sparsely populated or like no population, it is because of the rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountain, low-lying areas susceptible to waterlogging, desert areas, thick forest areas, okay? Like I'll just show you the image of rugged topography. Look, this kind of area, and also this. Can you see these images? Look it clearly. Look, in can you imagine yourself surviving in this kind of area? Look, it's very difficult, and especially in this type of area where we, like, you cannot plant, you cannot cultivate food for yourself, and neither you can construct home in these places, okay? And let us see more. Okay, steep slopes. Again, I'll show you this example. Steep slopes. Look, this kind of slope, like, there won't be any excess of transportations, and for ourselves it will be difficult to climb, okay? And okay, low-lying areas susceptible to waterlogging, especially the flood areas, and there are many like areas where we cannot construct home and all. And okay, desert areas, you know how it is. and thick forested areas. For instance, if we say thick forested areas, uh, it is like the Amazon forest, because it, like, okay, you may get many natural resources to consume and even construct home, but it's like very risky to stay over there. So these type of areas are very less, like very sparsely populated. Like even in desert area you can see that, like houses, like uh, houses are, like you will found it mostly near the oasis. Oasis is a water body that is found in between the desert areas. Okay, here we can see that plains and river valleys are offer o- valleys offer suitable land for agriculture. Okay, and this type of lands are densely populated. The place which is suitable to for settlement, for cultivating crops, like from the very earlier time, people started to settle in and around that kind of land, because you know like they used to deposit the alluvial soil, which is very good for cultivation. So in this book you can see that a picture. Okay, look how the land has been used, as mentioned earlier, that like river valleys, plains, they are often densely populated parts of the world. Okay, so now let us move to the land use. Okay, land use for different purpose. Land use means use of land by human for different purposes, like which includes agriculture, forestry, mining, building house, road, and setting up of industry. This is commonly termed as land use. Okay, so the use of land can be determined by both the physical as well as human aspects. When we speak about the physical, like it's the natural factors like the topography, soil, climate, minerals, and availability of the water. Look, we cannot stay in the harsh kind of topography, like as I've shown you pictures from, like that deserts, mountain areas, steep slopes, and all, and even like soil, the areas that is more prone to drought, we cannot settle over that area, because there will be obviously scarcity of water, which will lead, and in that kind of area it will be very difficult for we human to survive, until and unless there is a good facility of providing waters to the people residing over these areas. Okay, so even like the type of soil, okay, alluvial soil, as I've mentioned earlier, which is very good for cultivation of crops. In that type of area people used to settle more. Okay, and let us move, like climate. Okay, I'll just give you two examples, like the polar region, which is like extreme cold, and the deserts, which are extremely hot. In this type of areas it is very difficult for we human to survive. Okay, there are like very less people who used to stay over there, because like for many years they are adapted to, like they have been adapted to this kind of environment. Okay, minerals and availability of the water. Okay, when we speak about the minerals, like for instance the coal mining and all, like this kind of area are used for mining purpose, and people over there used to, like what do I say, they usually move to those places for the work purpose, especially the laborers and all, and the availability of the water. Water is also a very important natural resources, and it is like the basic necessities of we human. We use it in on our area has no water, or like even like it will be difficult for us to survive, because if there is no water then we cannot survive. So people usually move to the areas where we can have fresh waters and all. Okay, so as I've given you homework, here you can say that can you list out the different ways in which members and Peter's family use their land? Okay, so you have to do it as your homework, okay, and show it to me in like WhatsApp. Okay, human factors such as population and technology. Okay, when we speak about the technology, like uh, for instance, in India, Bangalore is known for the services. So usually people move to those areas because they know that they can have good opportunities to find works over there. Okay. Okay, so here it is a table, land use in selected areas. So study the above table and answer the following questions. Okay, this will be your homework. First one you will have to do it by yourself, and second one I'll just give you two examples, and rest it will be done by you people. It will be also a homework for you. Okay, how would you relate the land use pattern of these countries with the it is highest in India. It's like 57% now. Okay, you know that I'm just telling you that India is an agriculturalist country. Like most of them are dependent on the agriculture, and like especially in rural areas, like it is the source of their income. Okay, so basically it is an economic activity for them. So uh, in terms of cropland, if we speak, then China produces the highest number of rice over the world, but it has been done on the basis of the cropland divided by the total land area of the country. Okay, so it is India with highest number of cropland. matlab, the land use in India is like highest, it is cropland, and in pastures it is Australia. Look, if we see it clearly, like in Australia, mostly like they depend on domestications of animals, like through that they can have milk, meat, and everything. Like even they sell their skins for clothes, like wool and so on. Okay, so the rest will be done by students. Okay. Okay, on the basis of ownership, the land are classified into two. One is private land and the other is the community land. Private land is usually the land that is owned by an individual. Okay, and the community land is owned by the like group of people or communities for common use. For instance, like the place where I have constructed my home is my own land, and like that is my own private land. But for instance, like if we speak about the community land, in villages, or if okay, community land, I'll just give you a very good example, like the parks that are for the community use, like community means like for all people, okay, and it is, so it is termed as the common property use. Okay, here we can see that people and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of the land is limited. Okay, with the emergence of technologies and many more, the use of land has been like, there is more use of land, more extractions of forest and all. So like, the higher number of the population, there is more degradation of soil, because when there is like more population in a country, there is more demand of crops, like rice and all, okay, so which means the farmers, um, they like, the land from which they produce these crops, for higher like production, they use like uh what do I say, like fertilizers and all, which is not good for soil, okay. So even like even the forests are being encroached by people, for like, areas like which was like usually untouched, are like more and more those lands have been encroached for different purposes, like the commercial areas, housing complexes in the urban areas, and expand of agricultural land in rural areas. Okay, so this change of land pattern has reflected on the cultural changes in our society, and it has also led to land degradation, means the quality of land has been degraded. Landslides, okay, degradation of land automatically leads to landslides, soil erosion, desertifications and all, because how do I tell you, like for instance, um, if we cut the forest areas, then they are directly exposed to the climate and all, okay, so which will lead to the leaching of soil, and then the erosions take place. And if you like, if you have moved to like from Itanagar to Zero, you will see many places where landslide have taken place, because the areas have been encroached by we humans for our own purpose. So these are the reasons. And desertifications means like the like cutting of forest, and like there is no more trees and all, okay, and these are a threat to environment because of the expansion of agriculture and construction activities. Look, we human have encroached the natural resources in every way, so this has led to threats to the environment. So okay, today we will be done with this much only. Okay, sorry. Therefore, the present threat of degradation of land must be checked. Afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides, fertilizers, and check on overgrazing are some common methods to use the land to conserve the land resources. Okay, we have to save the environment, like and in to save it in a very like general way, like the government has to check the degradation of land, degradation in their qualities. Oh my god.